friends out there in YouTube land, Rob here, and I want to share with you the Yamaha FG Junior 2 JR2 fun guitar that we've got in the office today to kind of look at. This is a guitar I'm picking up specifically for a mom that asked for a little bit of help picking out a guitar for her son, so we're going to talk about that story today. This is the guitar that we decided on. Her son's 9, so a little bit of fun there as well. Guys, as always, this is not sponsored. I make these videos on my own dime. If you like this video and you'd like to support the channel, or you want to get one for yourself or anything that you see in this video, use the Amazon links down below. Today, we're going to be talking about this FG Junior JR2, and it's by Yamaha, a really cool guitar. I like it a lot. This is a travel-sized 3/4 guitar, great for beginners and things like that. Actually, I think this would be a really cool guitar for anyone. We're going to go over the specs and everything. First, let me give you the real quick overview of this guitar. This is in a sunburst. It's got a total laminated construction. The back and sides happen to be a ultra thin film. I'll more on that later. The top happens to be laminated spruce. Spruce on the top, spruce on the bottom as a veneer, and then poplar in between. I would assume poplar for the laminated construction here, but Yamaha does not say. We've got a 2-piece neck, which is nice, 1, 2, and then a scarf joint, actually a 3-piece now that I think about it. And then we've got some closed back tuners, headstock with that classic Yamaha design. They come with what appear to be Dioderito EJ16 strings. Yamaha doesn't say specifically. We've got a plastic nut and saddle. We've got a rosewood fingerboard and bridge. And yeah, those are the pretty much nice traditional X-braced discussion about this guitar. Strap button on the top and the bottom. Overall, a striking look, especially with that vintage sunburst. I like this guitar quite a bit. Let's hear how it sounds. All the same, only the names have changed. Every day it seems we're wasting away. Another place, well, the faces are so cold. You'll drive all night just to get back home. My cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm wanted, dead or alive, wanted, dead or alive. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things happening with this guitar right now. When we think about it, great guitar as far as a beginner guitar, and I say that because it's a nice size, although it's steel string. They're relatively simple to press steel strings. We've got just like a 21 1/4, something like that, scale length. It's just a little bit below 2 feet, which is real nice. The strings feel soft and slinky, not like a nylon, but more importantly, you've got a very narrow fingerboard. It's 1 11/16, which 42 millimeters, whichever the conversion is, which is really nice. It makes it easy for small hands. The guitar is nice and light and built out of that layered or plywood construction. It's going to be pretty durable. Let's talk about that ultra thin film. I was trying to figure out what this was as far as what it means to you. Yamaha doesn't say what the sandwich wood is, it just says the film. And it says that the film allows it to have a beautiful mahogany finish, which means it's not mahogany. It's probably some kind of white wood like poplar or masonite or something like that. I don't believe that the wood on the inside happens to be particle board, because we do have a veneer on the inside and on the sides, the back and sides, which is nice. So I believe it to be poplar, something like that. It's hard to tell. However, the ultra thin film is very similar to the type of film that you'll find when you've got screen printed graphics on furniture that you get from IKEA that's made to look like wood. In fact, I'll show a picture of something like that right now. That's the ultra thin film, which is interesting. It also has a finish on it, and so I don't know exactly what Yamaha would do with that other than making less expensive for them, but also possibly a little bit more durable, considering this is to be a beginner's guitar or a travel guitar. In any event, one nice thing, you can get the FG Junior 10 Junior 2S that's got a solid spruce top instead of this laminated spruce top. However, this is an actual spruce veneer, and I have checked the underside. I'll share some pictures with you now. It's a spruce veneer on both sides, which is really nice. That doesn't change anything about the tonal properties. It's still just probably a poplar core. Although if it was a spruce core, that would be nice. It's still laminate construction, plywood basically, layers of wood. I like it quite a bit though, and I think it sounds really nice. When I was a young boy, put away them young boy days. Now that I'm older, so much older, I'm thinking about them young boy ways. With a girl like you, with a girl like you, all the things we would do, babe, just me and you. You know you make me wanna hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should. Make it hurt so good. I think that this is the type of thing that you're gonna wanna rock out with. Specifically, it feels good to play. The strings are pretty simple for new players' hands, even though they're steel. It feels comfortable and easy to kind of turtle up in and wrap around. And for the most part, it's got a nice sound to the guitar. Now, it's not a typical full-size sound, but it's also not a typical full-size guitar. It's a 3/4 size. It's got the dreadnought body shape, which is real nice. I noticed that the shorter scale length makes it a little bit easier to bend the string out of tune. So it does require a little more articulate hand, which is something that would be helpful for a new beginner. Less pressure. Lots of times with steel strings, you got to push real hard. So if you're used to playing and you're really chugging at it, you don't want to push that. That's a lot of bend on that E right there, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's got a good feel to it. Now, something that's helped that feel is out of the box, the setup was actually pretty nice, but it wasn't exactly what I really wanted for one of my students that I've got. And Mom asked me to help her purchase a guitar because she didn't know much and they'd been using my guitars as the first month of practice, and they wanted something a little bit more. So I did help her. I went and helped, did some shopping and gave her some options, and this was the one that she chose on, and of course the student chose on as well. A couple of reasons I liked it was mainly for the looks. This was a little bit more expensive than the first guitar which we had considered, which is a Cordoba Mini 2. The biggest difference between the Cordoba Mini 2 and this guitar is a half size compared to a 3/4 size, and this comes with a really cool gig bag. Now, I can't tell you how important that is for something like this. The guitar itself is one thing, but you've got to have something nice to carry it in. And the Cordoba would have required an additional purchase of a gig bag, which would have been an extra 30 bucks for the Cordoba gig bag, which is also a nice gig bag. But then you would have had a half-size guitar, nylon string with an almost 2-inch fretboard on some little hands for a 9-year-old. And he's a little teeny guy for a 9-year-old, right? So although this guitar is bigger, it might require him to grab it a little bit more. The fretboard is narrower, which is easier, or should be a lot easier for his little hands to make the chords. I like this because we've got nice pad on the inside and outside. There's some structure to it. You can see there's nothing in it and it's staying together. We've got straps for your shoulders, a carrying handle that also has Velcro, and a couple of big pockets on the front. Altogether, this is a really nice gig bag for this guitar. This guitar itself, fun guitar, but required some things. Right out of the box from the music store, I got it from a music and arts center. It was the only one that they had in the area. I was lucky to come across it. It looked good and it played well, but it needed some things. The frets were tolerable or fine. If you were going to get this guitar and you didn't know anything about how frets should feel, then you probably would have been okay. There was one fret that was particularly a problem, and that was the first fret on the high E side. That was sharp. It just was no doubt about it. Also, when the guitar first came in, of course, the fingerboard needed a conditioning treatment because it was dry as it could be. Strings, of course, that were on it were pretty new, actually. I believe that it shipped relatively recently. And the setup was decent. And by decent, I mean the neck was straight, didn't require an adjustment, and we were about 5/64 on the bass, as well as 5/64 on the high at the 12th fret. Pretty good. Action at the first fret was way too high, so much so that you were pulling your G in your third position or your third fret strings, you were pulling them out of tune by 20 cents. That's enough to hear that irritates you. This being a short scale guitar, that's even more important. It's very difficult to get a proper intonation, specifically with a non-compensated saddle. However, the saddle is sloped, so there is compensation for that, but realistically, we'd really want to bring the B back a little bit, make it a little bit longer. Something else that you can do is you can work on the nut. The tuners themselves, the tuners are only passable. I think they work better once I adjusted the nut and the action at the first position. They seem to do quite a bit better. They do hold tune. They're very, very stiff. I like the look of them, and they're lightweight for this guitar, meaning that it's not neck heavy. There's no neck dive, right? So it's body heavy, which is what you would expect. The closed back tuners, like we were saying, they do look nice. I enjoy them. I think they're okay, but I think that you could really benefit from a higher ratio tuner and a tuner set that was ratioed per string. So what did I do to this guitar to help make it playable and better for my student? I went ahead and provided a full fret job, and I even went as far as to take care of the fret ends on the string, specifically the high E at the first position. And I polished these frets up real nice. I don't know how well it's going to show here, but I believe you can see that they're just gleaming. And I went all the way up to 1200 grit on this. Also conditioned the fingerboard, took 2 coats of lemon oil, let it sink in for about 20 minutes the first time, then about 40 minutes, so a total of an hour on that. I also had a poke around on the inside. You may have seen some pictures already. If not, I'll post some now. It's very hastily put together on the inside. Now, this is made by Yamaha in their Indonesian facility. Yamaha is known for making good instruments. It looks better on the bottom than it does on the top. So getting on that end, you do actually get a lot. And what you get is this ultra thin film. Remember, this guitar itself is made to be played, so it's a plywood construction. It's made for beginners, so they expect it to be used in tough environments. It needs to be durable, so a resin impregnated layered wood, whatever that layered wood might be, as well as that ultra thin finish on the back with that film. Although I'm looking around and seeing that it kind of does, it may take some dings on the corner. It is not bound, although that it looks like it's bound. I like the top. You can actually see some of the ridging in the wood for the grain lines, which is nice. The sunburst looks good. The tortoiseshell pick guard is nice. The frets and overall intonation is actually pretty good. Once we got the first fret or the nut figured out, the intonation picked up quite a bit over here. Also was able to lower the saddle just a little bit, or lower the bridge just a little bit by, some sandpaper, bring it down. So we got it down to 4 and 4, which is pretty good here. And yeah, so overall, those are the things I did to make it better for my little guy that's going to be playing this, that I'll be helping teach. I would definitely and wholeheartedly suggest this. I really like this guitar, although there was some extra work that was put into it. A new set of strings. We're using the Elixirs, Polyweb, the Elixir Polywebs, and it's 12 to 53, so light gauge. You could do a custom light as well, but you need some tension in order to blast out the sound for this small body. Don't go too light, like an extra light, and don't go mediums. The guitar will fold up on itself. So yeah, overall, I think that it's definitely a good buy and a good first guitar for someone, and one that's a real looker. If you're spending less money than $150 to $170, I think as an acoustic guitar, that might be as low as I could go. If you need to spend less, then you could get a mini Strat or something like that. Electric guitar is a little bit different, not acoustic. They're not trying to build a resonance chamber that actually sounds good. They're just trying to build a neck that intonates. There's more that goes into it, but yeah, acoustic guitars require a little bit more skill, especially on this side of the house, on the beginner side of the house, just to make a box that sounds pretty nice. Let's hear those chords. Oh, I gotta bring it over here so you can hear it. So there you have it, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching Fun Guitar. This is the Yamaha FG Junior JR2 model with the sunburst and the tobacco. Really, really nice here. It's been a joy to play. I'm glad I've been able to set it up for my student, and I definitely recommend it for you guys. Don't forget to hit the links in Amazon links down below. I'll catch you all on the flip side. Bye for now.